Hello, and welcome to another fun program from the Virginia Beach Public Library. Today, we will be making a felt coffee cozy. This is a fun sewing craft which does require some basic sewing skills. Before we get started, I want to let you know that needles are very sharp, so make sure that you watch your fingers and try to keep them away from the needles. You should have picked up your kit by now from the Central Library. If you didn't, you can come back to this video again. This is what the kit looks like. Inside are instructions, felt cutouts, pins, a needle, and 3 colors of embroidery floss. Gather all of your materials together: muzzle, nose, ears, eyes, pins, needle, and thread. You'll also want a pair of scissors and maybe a pin cushion. First, let's take one of our felt bodies and lay it flat on the table in front of you. Then, locate the white muzzle piece and center it between the 2 ears. When you're happy with the placement, use a straight pin to hold it in place. Locate the white embroidery floss. 6 single threads make up a strand of embroidery floss. For our purpose, you'll want to separate out 3 strands like this. Trim your 3 strands to the desired length for sewing and thread through your needle. If you have a needle threader, you can use it. You might even have one in an old hotel mending kit or sewing kit. Included in your kit are instructions for a blanket stitch. You can also find blanket stitch tutorials on YouTube. If you can't figure it out, or you don't want to use the blanket stitch, you can use whatever stitch you like. You'll see a little later how I tried different types of stitches. After you've threaded your needle, tie a knot, any tight knot at the end of your thread. Then come up through the underside of the body and through the muzzle. Now stitch the outer side of the muzzle to the body, like this. Okay, now find your eyes and the nose. Place them on the body and pin into place. Now you'll want to locate your black thread. You're going to want to remove the white thread from your needle if you haven't already. Now separate your black threads. Now this thread is a little bit different than the orange and white, so you might only be able to get 1 or 2 strands of black thread through your needle. Any amount's fine. If you can get 1 strand or 3 strands, it doesn't matter. Here, I got 1 strand through my needle. Now, we're going to sew the eyes and the nose on just like you did with the muzzle. Now, if you want, you can add a few stitches below the nose to make a mouth. Now it's time for the ears. These are really fun. You can leave the ears as they are, or you can trim them so that the black inner ear is a little smaller. Be careful, you can take more off, but you can't put it back on. So put the ears into place wherever you like and pin them. Then you're going to sew around them just like you did on the face with the muzzle and the eyes and the nose. Now take the front of the body and line it up with the back of the body. You're going to want to check the edges and make sure that they line up. Each edge is a little different, so you should be able to find which one goes with which. You're going to pin the front of the body to the back. Now it's time to locate your orange thread. And just like the white thread, you're going to separate out 3 strands and then thread them through your needle. Starting at one edge, you'll be sewing the 2 parts of the body together like this. Keep going until you reach where you started. Once you have both pieces of felt together, it's time to overlap the edges, just enough so that we can sew them together. Pin them into place wherever you like. Here I am sewing the 2 pieces together. The blanket stitch is right here. So how to do a blanket stitch? To work a blanket stitch, you're going to first bring the thread up just below the edge of the fabric and take a diagonal stitch to the right about 3 millimeters from the fabric edge. You're going to bring the needle out directly below again, just below the edge of the fabric. Loop the thread around the needle where it emerges, and that's what I'm doing is I'm going through the loop. And pull the thread tight. To form the next stitch, reinsert the needle to make a diagonal stitch to the right, about 3 millimeters in from the edge. Again, going to make that loop around the needle. Repeat to form a line of stitching. So this is normally done on the edges of felt just to give it kind of a nice clean look. You're going to want to keep your stitches nice and even and work with an even tension. And there you go, all done. Make sure you hand wash your cozy so it always looks sharp. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this craft. To find out more about activities offered by your local library, please visit us online at www.vbgov/libraries.